Now pledge. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Take a seat. I want to welcome everybody tonight. We do have a quorum, so let's have a roll call.
October 9th, 2018 City Council meeting, Mayor Mike Oakes.
Present.
I'm Clerk Treasurer Sean Gerken, Attorney Larry Greathouse. Council members Brian Hatfield.
Here.
Jack Kelly. Jerry Lamb. Present. Connie Rayburn.
Present.
Trent Wisner.
All right. Let's have approval of minutes for September the 24th, 27th, and October the 2nd. I think we do them all at once.
And the only thing I saw was on the October 2nd. It says council members that were present. This was a meeting that we had down at Vernon with the county council. Jerry Mann was present, so that needs to be
Jerry, I saw it myself. Yeah, Jerry.
corrected. So with that, I would make a motion we accept the minutes from the September 24th, September 27th, and October 2nd meetings.
With the correction, with Jerry who was present, Connie made the motion to accept the minutes.
I'll second.
Jerry seconded that. All in favor? Motion carries 303. Oh, all right. New city council business. The adoption of ordinance 974, 2019 budget.
Okay, you should have a copy of that ordinance and resolution in front of you. It was presented to you at your meeting 2 weeks ago. Properly advertised, properly held in public hearing on the budget. No changes since that time, of course. So I would entertain a motion to adopt ordinance 974, setting the budget for the city of North Vernon for 2019.
I just have a question, sir.
Okay?
This says 976, maybe, and then this is 974, just want to make sure we're the right number.
It's right here.
Oh, the actual resolution number is 974.
He was looking at the salary ordinance.
So you're jumping ahead in G, you gotta wait a little bit for that one.
I know, I want to make sure.
Yeah, the ordinance for the budget is 974.
All right.
I make a motion we accept ordinance number 974.
Connie makes a motion for ordinance 974.
I'll second that.
Brian seconded that. All in favor? Motion carries 3-0.
I've got an original that I'll send out for signatures, okay?
Okay, thank you. Moving on, with the adoption of, well, this was a rezone request with Marie Shepherd.
Did you need to go ahead and do the appropriation memo with that? 669?
The additional
Or it's
appropriation,
down below, but,
yeah, it's the additional appropriations for the 2018 budget this year,
um,
so it's later.
okay.
Yep.
Okay, we're here before you this evening to, like to rezone 14.05 acres at 905 North County Road 200 West. You have the packets in front of you. That's currently zoned agricultural, non-residential. Okay, so they want to rezone it to residential single family. When this was, when they came in for the rezone, at the time it was under C. Thomas Finley, and as of September the 26th, 2018, they did record a deed that went into Glenn S. Short and Christy L. Short. They're here with me. Per the recommendation of the Essential Services and Area Planning Board, was to go ahead and rezone this. There is a request being made for future development of a residential subdivision, and you have a kind of a sketch of what they're planning. I don't know that you have a set in stone at this time.
off onto 50, or will there be a road in between where they can come in off of it?
Will be buildings. The houses will be built along 50 and along County Road 200. Got the map there?
Right. But I'm wondering, like, all these houses that you got on 50, they're not each gonna have their own driveway onto 50, or?
50 will go away when the roundabout's done, is my understanding. That will become a street. Otherwise, we could only get 5 entrances off of 50.
How big are the lots gonna be, you know yet? I mean, I know you're studying.
Roughly 80 by 140.
That's about
I mean, and that's, I don't know if that'll be that, we'll do that many, but
If there's any
the
more.
plan for Avalon 50 would be 2 years down the road.
Yeah. You know, or build a house in more or less than 80-foot lot, can you?
No.
Not really.
And so then you may get somebody comes in wants a 2 acre.
Yeah, that's true.
Or say 2 lots, I mean, it's not gonna just be down to 1 lot.
Do we have a subdivision control ordinance?
We do.
What's the definition of subdivision?
A major subdivision would be 5 lots or more in a year. With extension of utility, I mean, there's a whole definition of what would throw it into a major subdivision and what you have to do. That was passed in 2006.
Brad, are you familiar with that?
Sure.
I'm really not.
I know to the driveway question, yes, 50 is gonna get relinquished from the state to the city. Still gotta get all the permits for the drive, and I don't know that we're gonna be able to accept that many drives through there. We're still gonna have a high traffic count and pretty high speeds, so.
I mean, it's gonna be high traffic no matter where you go, that right around.
Well, just because it goes from state to city, the permit process for driveways doesn't
But
go.
whether you put 1 street into the property, or you put 6 driveways along the street that's there, you're still gonna have the same amount of cars going in and out, unless you say, hey, we don't want houses built there, or not over 5 houses, or
It's the
whatever.
same amount of cars, but you can't control the access and you have turning movements and traffic and driveway. That's why
You're still gonna have the
some
same
of them
amount.
in the streets for that reason. But I mean, that's just something that.
Just, instead of coming off this way, could this be a street in between them here? And then all of them would go in and out of that, and then come in and off.
The issue is when you get into streets, you get into curbs, sidewalks, then you've got, we're trying to do $150,000 to $180,000 houses. You end up with 30, 35, 40,000 into a lot, it's gonna be hard to get that house.
We're going to have to table this because Jerry's gonna have a conflict with this.
I'm all for it, but I can't vote for it.
But we only have 2 members that can vote on this.
So we have to wait till, yeah.
I move, make a motion that we table this for 30 days. Till there are,
For the next meeting.
well, the next, I talked to Brad about this and Larry both, and I think we need to take and consider this, take some time to think about what we're doing here. I'd like to table this for 30 days.
And just keep in mind, when you're rezoned, right now, the only thing that came before you is to rezone. Okay, so people still have to submit a plan and do all that before you can do the other. So it's kind of 2 different things here. And we kind of got in that in the area plan board meeting, is that we're just coming for a rezone at this point. no one, no matter who has a property, could build on it at this time.
What do I gotta do to build 5 houses? I'd be happy if I could build 5 houses.
Then you would have to follow this subject.
You're gonna have to submit a plan to us, what you're gonna do, size of lots. We're not gonna let you do 5 here and 5 over here. It's gonna be the whole subdivision.
And that's-
What if I said all I ever wanna do is 5 right there?
Then that's unacceptable.
I think like Marie said, I mean, we're just asking for the rezoning before we spend thousands of dollars on plans, because if we can't get it rezoned, there's no sense in spending.
I sit on the zoning or the area planning board, and I understand that. But we don't have the votes here today to even vote on this, so it's a non-topic right now.
So,
So we can almost do the rezone next week, so we're 40 days just on that part. Is that all right with that? So we.
I know Jack and Trent both had very strong opinions on this subject here, and I know they both hate that they're not here for this.
Right, but I was gonna say, instead of waiting 30 days for the rezoning, we could do that for the next meeting, and then get plans and stuff later for moving forward after that.
I think so. We need to have it, there's no question. And they build, we sold all their houses, and they do a good job, so I ain't worried about that. Part of the reason I can't vote, our office is handling all this, so I can't vote. That's one reason. That's not against it.
Brad, you got something?
Well, quick, Marie, you said this is zoned residential or
No.
agriculture right now?
it's zoned agricultural or PUDNR, non-residential. Remember, it was initially rezoned for the strip farm,
No, that was way out there.
Yeah, that.
but this was a.
No, it's not agricultural,
It was
though. It's a PUD. It was rezoned as a non-residential PUD, which basically is a
And
commercial.
it has 2 zoning, I don't know why, it has 2 zonings on it. It's agricultural and PUD-NR.
And at your office, they said the PUDNR, the only 2 places in the county zone that way are Walmart and this one.
Right, that's correct. They were both done about the same time.
Okay,
And
so
the
you would.
PUD was 32, 35 acres, something like that total. It was the entire road frontage along it,
Right,
with the intent of commercial development. Because
okay, so.
there was a page of restrictions about what they could and could not do as far as the strict law and what it intended not to contain. Thought I'd just bring that up, because that's what I thought it was set up as a PUD,
Yes, it
just
is.
so that it was clear what it was going from and proposed.
That's right.
So the city council would have to decide whether they wanted it to remain a PUD.
Exactly. Once it became a PUD, the control went out of area plans into the city council more so.
What does PUD stand for?
Plan unit development. And again, there's only been 2, Walmart and this one, and this was not been developed. But there is a page of what can be done, what can't. What access, uses, things like that.
Okay, so we're gonna take what's going on.
I make a motion for 30 days, I guess I'll pull it back. Make a motion to table this till the next meeting then.
Okay,
I'll second that.
Brian made a motion to table this to the next meeting.
Well, you don't need to move the table, you can't vote on it.
Can't vote on it, so it's a non-issue then.
Just put it
Dead
on,
issue.
so back in 2 weeks.
Okay.
Okay. All right,
Mr. Epstein.
Just to be clear, what's the date of the meeting?
24th, that sound right? It'll be Monday.
It'll be Monday. So it'll be 22nd.
22nd, my apologies.
22nd.
So the 22nd.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
okay, discussion of additional appropriation for the aviation budget.
We have 2 funds that we advertised in the paper for an additional appropriation. I think at this point, council understands what an additional means. This is not asking for more money to spend from any source other than what's already in the fund. Both of these funds have the cash balances necessary. Brian, who's on vacation like half our council, apologizes that he can't be here. His additional appropriation is the amount of $15,000. That was due to some additional maintenance they did for some crack sealings and work at the airport. They had the cash to be able to do that, so they went ahead and move forward this fall with doing some of that extra work. The second fund is our seated fund. Due to some additional paving that we did outside of the Community Crossroads grant and the project of getting the sidewalk on Long Street, we did some additional work out of the seated fund than what we normally would do. So we needed to do an additional appropriation for that fund as well.
How much?
The aviation additional was $15,000, seated additional $75,000. Just for a point, the current cash balance of the aviation fund is $25,318. This is the month though that they get their annual paycheck for crop leasing and land leasing, so that's going to substantially increase in a matter of days. Current cash balance of the seated fund is $333,206. So there is enough cash in both funds, I assure you.
Okay, well, I make a motion to accept resolution number 669.
Connie made the motion to accept, resolution ordinance, 2018-669.
I'll second that.
Brian seconded it. All in favor? Motion carries.
Breaking my heart, but I'm.
Wait till you see Claire.
3-0. I think you have to sign this too.
I'll send this original down for a signature, please.
Discussion of additional appropriation for the seated budget.
Okay, we've skipped and done both of those, so we can move forward to F. on the
F
list.
is first reading of ordinance 976, 2019 budget ordinance.
By statute, annual salaries of all non-elected officials must be approved by November the 1st. So tonight's reading of ordinance 976, the 2019 salary ordinance will be our first reading. And we will present a second reading and potential adoption at our next meeting in 2 weeks, in 13 days. Any questions on that now? I know I just actually came in yesterday and completed this, just so you got a copy, so I know you haven't seen it before tonight. But if you have any questions either tonight or the next 13 days, I would encourage you to get a hold of me so we can make some potential changes.
The only thing I would, on the last page where you said that employees opt out, we did discuss that $1,200 bonus. That needs to somehow reflect, like maybe divided by 12, so they're eligible for like $100 a month or something, because somebody gets hired in March or something, June should not be eligible at the end of the year for as much as somebody who whole year.
So with your okay on this, then I would rather make a line, something to say it's prorated, and we'll still just do the one payment a year.
Yes,
So it would be prorated based on,
yes.
okay. I would rather do that than make 12 additional payments during the course of the year.
Well, no, I'm just saying, yeah, it's prorated, so at the end of the year, I just want, when you're gonna make one, I just don't want somebody that hired in later in the year shouldn't be as,
I get, that's
earn
it.
as much as somebody that was there the whole time.
One other thing I'll comment on, just so council's aware of it, is you have encouraged the utility department, Brian, you know, we really had a discussion about operators in training. And so Russell, then the matrix that he presented me bumped up that base pay a decent amount, 4 or 5%, but he just basically raised them at 4 or 5% across the board. And I would think that our intention would be perhaps even raise the starting pay up 8 or 10%, but not so much down the road, similar to what, Chief, we did with the police matrix down the road, or sometime back. I guess my question is, was it your intention to raise the starting pay for operator in training by 5 or 6%, and then people who have already been here for 20 years get the same 5 or 6%? I would have thought that answer was no.
Right.
So again, to use as an example, when I first took office, the gap between a starting police officer and a 20-year officer may have been the difference between a starting may have been $13 and a 20-year was $20. Now down the road, now we're starting at 20, but down the road is only 22 or 23. So it narrows the gap between the highest and lowest, really brings it up on the front end so we can enhance our hiring ability and retainability. And again, Brian, I don't mean to speak for you, but I thought your intention was to be able to hire more quality people up front without necessarily giving the same size increase of raises to those that have been here a long time. So with your permission, I'll work with Russell on maybe tweaking that utility matrix so that the bulk of the extra goes to the people who've been here the first couple of years or into their first 5 years and not so much on the back end like we've done for the police and fire.
I would definitely like that.
Am I reading that? Okay.
Yeah. And when we see someone in here like where the new position and stuff, you don't have an hourly wage on that, is that a bi-weekly number here?
Yes, if it's over $1,000, it's a bi-weekly salary versus an hourly rate. And we just, I don't know if we have a good reason, but for whatever reason, we have many positions in the city limit that are paid hourly, even though they are full-time positions, and others that are paid on salary. So those, the larger numbers then reflect a bi-weekly pay, correct?
You also have a note that part-time employees with at least 10 years of part-time may be eligible for vacation time. Is this something that we need to update our employee manual to cover, or?
The short answer is we need to update our employee manual, period.
Yes, and I will gladly serve on that and help you with that.
Yeah, we started on that and tweaked a few things for holiday pay and sick leave and so forth, but we really do need to get that back on the front burner and work on that.
Okay, but is that something that needs to be?
I mean, we're being audited right now, and so, I'll ask, but I feel pretty confident that it's on the salary ordinance, it's good. And to my knowledge, the only person that affected when we implemented that last year is no longer an employee, so it may be something we could eliminate anyway. That was created for Jolene, who had been here 15, 16 years and never offered a vacation day. She's since retired, so
Right.
I don't know that we have any other part-time employees, but that's.
That goes on with part-time employees being getting time, they just part-time or half-time or whatever the people do. Okay,
I'll check,
and that's fine.
but we do need to get back that handbook.
Okay. Well, I make a motion, we.
No motion tonight, that's
We're
first
just gonna
reading.
do first reading. That's
I'll
fine.
make the changes that we just discussed, and then we'll have, if you think about changing this, then we might need to waive it in the first reading. Okay, so we're good. We'll adopt it at our meeting on the 22nd.
Okay, the trainee positions for operators and things that we, is Russell gonna do the interviewing and the hiring on all that?
Yeah, as far as I know, whether he has his board members or a council or something, I don't know that either position has been advertised yet, and he's on vacation as well this week. I'm sorry, I don't know more.
We've had trouble with hiring people with the proper credentials to run our water and wastewater, so if we don't grow them in-house, they're hard to come by. So we have a lot of elderly, not elderly, we have a lot of employees who have a lot of time in with the city, and they're moving on, so we need to start training people to take their places.
Don't use the term elder.
Why is that?
I've been sitting up here.
All this gray hair up here on this.
Hey, Jerry, I think they're talking about you. That's all right.
All right.
Okay. Do we have any additional business, chief?
No, sir.
Brad?
Unless you have something for me?
Robin?
We'll go back to Brad, because I told Jim just for this, because he gave us his update of where they're at with things. I just asked him, and maybe just kind of put a plug in, Rick's ear that, Tom Taylor had presented us with that whole big thing where he went around the city and all the sidewalk updates and stuff, and I just wonder where we were at. We're working on the list of all, I know they're so busy with mowing and stuff. Brett kind of mentioned it might be better to pay somebody to mow, and then forgive our guys maybe to do the sidewalk or something, but you know,
Well, that was
put the
mentioned
money.
at Public Works meeting a
Yeah.
couple times.
So I'd love to see us do something in the next month or two to get some of this started. if it's
Well, the
working.
only way to make, to know whether that's a possibility is to put out the bid, to put out a quote for mowing some various areas, and then we can do a comparison on what's,
Yeah.
But I
It'd
know
be better
part of
to
it,
get a
like-
painting guy to come and put the sidewalks in, or just whatever, but I'd just love to see us get something going on this list.
If you're gonna put them out though, then you'd have to bid or quote the sidewalk work, and put together more plans and specs each time. But I know part of it, between the mowing and the leaves and the yard debris and things, and then I think he lost 3 guys last week, I believe he said. He just gets so tight that, because I've gone over some of these with him, and then I mentioned the ADA work, we've got to start looking hard at anything that's not ADA compliant in the streets as well, and update all of that information to the state. So, yeah, it needs to be done. We
Yeah.
really need to get a program figured out how to do it, and he wants to do some of that work. But, like I said, with everything else, every time we look at one and he tries to plan for it, he's got to pull people from this to that, and it just doesn't happen. I mean, it's, yeah. Yeah, like I said, I think he lost three people last week.
I know at least 2.
When you say lost, do you mean they're quit or they got injured or?
quit, retired, resigned, walked out.
So
And
yes,
they just have
it
to-
needs to be done.
Right, and then just maybe we just have to contract somebody, put in some sidewalk or whatever.
Or like Sean said, contract some of the mowing.
Mowing, yeah.
possibly.
Okay.
Because then, that's a little easier to quantify, and I think you get more competitive pricing. Because you can set that up for a whole season. The sidewalk jobs are just one here, one there, one here, one there. So if you've got to bundle a lot of them together at one time, or just kind of send them out in little bits. I think putting some of the mowing out would be more advantageous to the city's needs, and then they can respond to some of these things a little bit better.
When does Rick hire, I mean, he hasn't hired anybody in a while, does he do his own hiring with it, you know, interviews and everything? And he
Yeah,
goes
it
to our
seems-
human resource person to do that?
It seems, no, but in fairness, you know, maybe the initial process or the job requirement responsibilities aren't as high as some of our other positions. We've hired some people, the process seems to be, you'll hire new people that work the back of the trash truck. Then when people from the street department move on, it's almost like when you get promoted from sanitation to street, and then he hires basically a minimum wage or a low salary on the trash truck. So we've had some turnover, you know, a couple of employees that have went from sanitation to motor vehicle over the last year or so. And I think his plan to replace the street department worker who retired last week is to pull, so there's an employee on the trash truck who's like promoted, if you will, in the street. And so he'll soon be in the process of trying to find a suitable replacement for the sanitation. But to answer your question, yes, he handles the hiring and firing of street department.
But I know what happens a lot too is like if somebody goes on vacation or calls in sick, he's got to pull somebody maybe off of the street crew to the sanitation.
Yes.
Like,
Kind of it'll work.
yeah, one of his main guys, so to speak, had to drive the trash truck today because nobody else could. So I want to help him tomorrow so we can get some painting done before the weather changes on us.
You gonna help the trash truck?
No. Painting.
I'd stay home for that.
Paint.
Or the holidays again too.
Before the holidays and the weekends.
Right, but when we have a holiday, the solution then is usually to use both, you run 2 routes, and so then you have to pull somebody off the
So he has
street.
to pull 3 people out of his other end.
Anybody else have anything to say? Any business? Connie? Jared? If not, let's
Been on
approve,
both sides.
let's approve the claims.
I make a motion to pay the claims.
All right. Connie made a motion to pay the claims. Jerry seconded. All in favor? 3-0.